China. One of the most popular places to play if you live in China. It's true, just like the Polish nationalist who plays Poland for the 100th time in this month, Chinese people like playing in this region. And it's not surprising, as most people like to play places where they're from. And even if you're not Chinese, playing in this region can be pretty fun. And no, I'm not talking about this boring nation Ming. I'm talking about the yellow horsey boy China. I mean, who doesn't like managing the mandate of heaven, where if you mess it up, you get massive debuffs, random earthquakes, floods, famines, and who can forget the random rebellions? Of course, our journey didn't start as Qing, as it's not a starting nation in 1444. We started as Jianzhou. After forming Manchu, we took on a player Ming. Yes, Ming was played by a human player. You can watch that epic 1 vs 1 and an edited down video by clicking the eye icon in the top right of the screen. For the second session of the game, this is gonna be a boring session, I think. It should be, at least, unless Korea decides to kill me. When we ended last session, I decided off camera to take one more loan, to delete the fort here so we can have double fort here and here. And then eventually I'm going to put a fort right here. And the idea is that we have a nice secure border with Korea because they are our biggest threat right now. It's Korea. Korea are the biggest threat. Japan has no interest in my land. Korea might have interest in my land, and also North China, which is where I have a whole claim on. There is a Z player who is a previous Ming. This is now a thing added to the mod due to chat suggestion, my suggestion. Basically, since Ming is now a player slot, and usually we place relatively newer players. Last week's Ming player wasn't a new player. It's not like a Kruder Badwolf or a Svevlad going on Ming. That would be way too insane and broken. But he's an average player. He played pretty well actually, but now Ming players, they have an option when they bankrupt and they lose Beijing. They have an option to click a decision that starts the Ming explosion, and you can choose between Z, Wu, and Yue. Z is a little bit bigger and Yue is a little bit smaller because I had to make edits to be fair to the Japan player. But Yue would be all of this, Wu would be all of this, including these 3 provinces right here. And Z has 1 extra state because he warred last session, but it would be without this state right here. We were still in a lot of debt from our wars with Ming. It wasn't enough to have to bankrupt, but it was hurting our economy and stopping us from building a lot of buildings. We also were spending a lot of money on advisors. This was so we could complete our idea groups while also expanding and developing. And speaking of developing, we could click the For the Horde mission by accepting an Altai culture, which gave us minus 5% dev cost for 20 years. Once our truce was up with Ming, we declared war on him for Mandate of Heaven CB. We weren't going to take the Mandate of Heaven right away, as I want to stay a horde as long as possible, but of course, it was a bit difficult to finish our war with the Ming since there were so many powers attacking him, including AI Oirat. However, AI Oirat did take good lands without snaking us off, making it easier to expand into China. We're going to be later Jin for a while. It's not as bad as in vanilla because we have the minus 10 dev costs in Steppe Nomad, so we don't get really penalized not having a burger's estate. What about the PowerPoints that everyone else gets? Well, actually in this mod, no estates give PowerPoints. So it's not the worst having only 1 estate here. It's not the best either, but we're going to stay horde for a while. We do get plus 25% shock damage on flat terrain. So fighting player wars, as long as we fight on flat terrain, should be really good. I was able to get an explorer through mod decision. However, I wasn't sure yet if I wanted to play a colonial game like I did when I played Ming. However, I did find the England player, which led to a funny conversation. Explorers, they're just exploring Greenland. There's nothing to be afraid of, my red friend.
Well, how is the situation transpiring in Asia?
It's good. There's a big Z.
Why is there a big G?
Because of the changes to the mod. He has actual good ideas. It doesn't have just Chinese ideas.
Is he in conflict with you still?
No, we have a defensive alliance right now, actually. I'm just sitting here scaling with all my dev cost modifiers until they disappear.
To say there's certain areas in Asia we have interest in.
What?
Yeah,
Where?
somewhere. That's top secret.
I'm just a tax meta enjoyer. We're tax maxing here. More GovCap, let's go. Around 1523, Japan attacked the Z player to expand into China. I did have a defensive alliance with the Z player. However, he was adamant in fighting Japan in a 1 versus 1. You might be confused why I had a defensive alliance with G. Well, the problem was that a lot of people like Japan, Korea, and Burma were trying to get their hands into China, and I could not expand fast enough to conquer it all and consolidate while gaining power. So it benefited me to have a strong Z in the south for now that stopped the vultures from killing all of China. Of course though, as Manchu and later Jin, my ambition laid in forming Qing eventually. Although I do prefer being a horde over being a nation with the mandate of heaven. I did keep Ming around as one province with the mandate of heaven so I could take it at any moment that I wanted. But with North China consolidated, it was time to make my next aggressive move. I'm giving you guys the courtesy to tell you when I form Qing, all of our deals are over.
Okay.
I'm a new nation.
Everybody in China, let's attack him.
Maybe you don't want to know what Japan did to Manchuria.
All of China is my rightful claim. Again, I asked my chat, be patient. Japan defeated G in the First War with superior quality and superior generals. And immediately after the First War was over, Japan truce broke G. Since I was a great power, I could see that both G and Japan were taking a massive amount of debt and huge manpower losses. I was going to strike the Japan player, and then after that, strike the Z player, killing both of them in China. Watch your jet, watch your jet! I'm defeating him navally! With the Japanese navy defeated, his entire army was trapped in China. Z had warned us about the Japanese generals being 3 stars. And since this Japan had Usagi ideas, his quality was going to be pretty insane as well. But as long as we took battles on flat terrain, our horde quality should carry us. Oh! The shock phase! The devastating losses from one battle caused Japan to accept our peace deal for the Nanjing state, which might not seem like a lot, but keep in mind these provinces are all very high development. Next was the nation of Z, who was nearly bankrupt from his wars with Japan. This is a hill. No cannons in the back row. Already won against the Japanese, now we're fighting the Z player. The age of the later Jin. The age of the Manchu is over. Z went bankrupt in the beginning of the war, leading to a quick and decisive victory. And we snaked the provinces to stop Burma from eating more of China. But that didn't stop Burma from declaring war on G as soon as my war with him was over. A new player had entered the battlefield for China. Ava, now forming Burma, was encroaching on Chinese lands, and it was only a matter of time before he decided to go even more north. So once we got the mandate from Ming, we formed Qing and used the Unified China CB, which gives us cores on occupied provinces. However, we had a huge problem. When we were later Jin, we had almost 90% cav to infantry ratio. But as Qing, we only had 60%, meaning that we had a very improper army for taking battles, with more cav than infantry. To make matters worse, Burma fired their discipline event in the beginning of the war, meaning they had a huge discipline advantage on us in the battle. Need to take one loan here. And I just need more infantry. I need more infantry. Gonna get rid of some of my cav. -1 for him. The awkward borders made it impossible to push past the highland fort of Yunnan. I tried to convince the Burma player to make peace for a couple provinces. His response was, "I'm just a sub." Running out of manpower and being unable to push him, I decided to give up the south side to Burma. We'll get it back another time. Burma's quality was too good, chat. I don't know. We're consolidating China. Just scale with this Chinese land, dude. North Chinese lands are still pretty good to develop and build up on, and we had a pretty extensive mission tree that we could use to try to outscale our opponents. Without tributary states, our mandate growth was very slow, but we were still able to pass a couple reforms.
He said I. He admits it.
It's like the pseudo tributary payment. It's the go away money.
The go away money.
To increase mandate growth, we completed the Forbidden Palace, as well as completed a mission that gave permanent mandate growth to our nation. This Shinto province right here, we're gonna do this. I know I said we can't mail dev, but I'm gonna do this. And now we won't mail dev. We won't dev at all, actually, so we're fine. But we're gonna do that, and we're going to get Shinto harmonized to give us 10 ICA, which will put us at 20 ICA and 15 cav combat ability. Come on, game. Come on. The golden era of Qing. It's soon, but not yet. Soon. We were able to negotiate with Japan for provinces from his vassal Wu, giving us enough provinces to be able to click another mission. But we weren't going to click this mission yet because it gave 20 flat mandate. We're going to wait until we pass another celestial reform and then click the mission to get instant mandate back, since being low mandate is risky when you're surrounded by players.
Yeah.
Groups on the other side.
Why do I need the kin stack?
Very nice. We go high harmony now again for the dev cost. And I think after this, we can get production efficiency. We can get trade efficiency. What the? I didn't even make him a general. He was 19. He was 19 years old, dude. He was 19 years old. It was a 5-5-4. Oh my. Is it just a curse campaign or what, chat? Is it just a curse campaign or what? Is it war with Spain? Over what? New Kosovo war?
What the hell?
Great Britain's fighting Japan? They're fighting Spain and... What is going on, dude? Oh, I don't want to make Korea my enemy or Japan my enemy because I want to deal with Burma right now. If I can get all of this, it's so good.
Faster.
I just have to fight Burma. What is Burma's strength level?
I built mercs. So
They're stronger than me, chat.
shag him over.
Not good, man. Okay, good. With the plus 10 discipline event fired, I took it as a sign from the universe that it was time to int. What does it mean to int? I'll let Professor Habibi answer that one. Hello, it's me, Professor Habibi. The word int comes from the top popular game, League of Legends, also known as LoL, which means to intentionally ruin. Since there's a lot of overlap for some reason between EU4 MP players and League of Legends players, this phrase was brought over, meaning intentionally ruining their country. At first, it was used by people that were intentionally ruining their country in order to fight a war or to grief or fight someone specifically. However, over the course of the years of EU4 Multiplayer, this phrase became overused to just mean a very hard player war that you invest a lot of resources in. This was your snippet of information from me, Professor Habibi. Please subscribe and like this video. That's the doctor's orders. Great generals for fighting and sieging? Check. Mercs taken and over force limit? Check. Discipline event ready and fired? Check. 8 banners military form taken for more banners? Check. Fighting famine country modifier fired?
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live!
This was our one opportunity, our one chance to claim South China. This isn't a time for mom spaghetti. The famine is almost over. The famine is almost over. May of this year, the famine is over. The people of China will stop starving. Our Empress is an inspiring leader, at least. That's good. On 35%. I mean, he lost his cannons. I don't think he's letting me. I think he's still remaking his cannons. And then we stack wiped another like 15k cannons. Dude, how did this guy beat me in the first war? No, I'm just playing. I think, dude, you guys gotta realize when you get stack wiped like that, it's literally, you get shocked, bro. You get shocked. Start playing badly. He was playing way better in the first war. Before our troops could even go back to our lands, Burma truce broke. We took the boost the officer corps for an additional 10% infantry combat ability, and we still had 2 years on our discipline event. I have 30 infantry combat ability, chat. It looked like it was going to be another victory for us, netting us even more land than we initially lost. We have devastation, chat. Due to being the Emperor of China, I had to manage devastation to a reasonable level, or we would lose more mandate, even in the lands that we just conquered. And that also lets us click mission. Green Standard Army. I didn't know it gave mandate.
Skill issue.
But right in that moment, Bengal attacked Burma, so he asked us to send a peace deal. allowing us to benefit from the mandate gained from the mission. New banners. Or we just jumped from being not a GB to 4th GP. Let's go, chat. No colony shenanigans. And as soon as Bengal finishes war with Burma, we declared our own truce break on Burma. Japan. And that's when things got even crazier, with Japan declaring war on us, putting us in a 2 versus 1 situation. But that's where the video ends. Originally, this was going to be a 50-minute long video. However, I wanted to cover a lot more of the diplomacy and the troubles that we faced as China without running over them and not covering them all. So that part will be out this Thursday, 7 p.m. or 19 o'clock CEST, which is also 12 p.m. in USA Eastern Standard Time and 9 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time. How will this two-front war between Japan and Burma go? Find out this Thursday. Thank you, my direct supporters and patrons: Hardbam, Mason and Druska, Chogus, Feels, Buttermilk Jesus, Djax, Nexos, Endless Night, Zerovia, Fabulous Snail, Lawfer, Beyond, Kalkarp, Johan Askelain, Trevor Kosman, Diane Mason, Shan Altier, and ETW. If you'd like to directly support this channel and the content I make, check out the Patreon link down in the description below, where you can get cool perks, such as high priority in my MP lobbies, my multiplayer lobbies. Why did that come out so weirdly? Why do I have so much trouble with the English language? It was my first language that I learned, well, alongside with Arabic, but I always had trouble with linguistics. Now I'm not even talking about my patrons or Patreon. Check it out if you're interested. Are you still watching? Okay, well, here's a video that you might like. You can click it.